Hello everyone, welcome to the Loralie Frilly Flower Shop. This is going to be a quick how to frilly video, and I will show you how to make a lovely freestanding frilly flower from the Loralie Frilly Flower Openwork Embroidery Collection. And I'm going to go through this step by step, although I'm sure you know a lot of this. I'll just show you the way I do it, and I'm sure you'll develop your own techniques and have it your way, but I'll just show you what I do. So to begin with, I choose the flower that I want to make. And in this case, I've decided I want to make the flower number 13, which is a kind of a daisy flower, and I want to use the scalloped heart petal. It's kind of fancy. So I've decided on those two designs. So then the first thing I do is I hoop up my net. Now this is what is called petticoat net, right down at Joann's. It's $1.49 a yard. It's very inexpensive and it's wide, so it goes a long way. So I put that in the hoop, squeeze it in. It's very easy because it's very thin, pops right in. So I have a 5x7 hoop with a double layer of petticoat net. Put that in the machine and stitch out my petal file. Now in this case, this file of petals has 3 petals. They vary. Some of the other files have more petals. This one has 3 because it's kind of large and fancy. So I'm going to stitch this file out twice in order to get 6 petals. So I'm going to have, in the end, I'm going to have 2 stitch outs like so of the petals. Then I'm going to set them aside, and I'm going to hoop up again 2 more layers of net and locate my flower number 13 file and put that into stitch. And while that's stitching, I cut out my petals. And I'll show you my technique for that. I've just found it really helpful. You've got a file like this. First thing that's helpful is you put on your glasses. And then I cut it with a large margin out first from the sew out, because there's a lot of excess hanging off of there that can get in your way. And then I take a piece of scrap paper. It's a way to be green and use up your scrap papers. Cut it with a big margin. Then I use my favorite cutting scissors, and I just cut that out very close to the stitching. And I cut the paper at the same time. Now this just gives you a crisp cut. It helps you to see where you're going, and it's it's more stiff, so it just helps. Now you want to go as close as you can to the stitching without cutting the stitching, or that will really ugly up your work. So you go through all of them this way, discard your scraps, and you will have, in the end, 6 petals cut out like so. And about the time that your base flower design finishes stitching, you're almost ready to assemble. And this is the key. This is a simple, fun key here, and this is to feed these petals through the ruffler one at a time in order to string them together. So I just slide it right under the ruffler. I hang on to the wheel because I don't want it to go crazy, and it will be, I just slide them into the ruffler one at a time, kind of meeting them. Don't overlap them, just let them kind of butt up against each other there. And you're going to only get about 3 or 4 stitches, and you're going across the bottom edge of the petal. And you're going to get 3 or 4 stitches across that bottom. You can do this by hand. You can string them together but with hand stitching, but I find that this little pleat that the ruffler makes really helps them to lay flat nice. Have a very nice effect in the end. Pull them out. I leave a little tail, maybe a ½ inch, because you're going to manhandle it a little bit and you don't want those gathers to fall out before you're finished. Okay? Then you have your base flower design has just come out of the machine. And these are your petals. And they just automatically kind of go in a little spiral. So you can decide which way you want to turn them. And this is the fun of just making a little arrangement. And I think that I'll just overlap them a little bit like so. I'm going to turn them up. Sometimes you can turn them down, turn them up, turn them over, put them crooked, put them in the middle. Anything you like. And then you simply place them on the flower and arrange it the way you like, and pin it from the back side. This gives you really easy access to lock this down in place. So there you have your flowers sitting on top of the base flower. And then I like to use a stuffed yo-yo. This is about a 2.5-inch circle, and it too will go into the center with a simple pin across the back. Now I guess that's another thing I do that I don't even realize now. I use these nice big corsage pins because you can just get a lot of grip with those very large pins. So that is how simple and fun it is to make a flower, and it's very quick, and you can make them in every kind of fabric and every kind of look you like. It's just the beginning. So I hope that you have enjoyed this little quick step how-to of the frilly flowers, and I'll see you next time here at Loralie Designs. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.